Aloha, my name is Dean Vajra, and I'm a certified Rolfer and a certified Rolf movement practitioner. I have been studying and practicing Rolfing since 2004. I've worked in top clinics in Europe, and I do a very global method of painless Rolfing. Developed my own method after working in all these clinics over the years and studying with some of these very advanced teachers in Europe. And I'm looking forward to working with you and to see about how I can benefit your particular structure. What I do in the first session is really get you to feel the ground like never before in the first session. So I work very globally on the whole body. And again, I listen to the midline in front of the spine, this place of neutral radiance. So instead of just pushing into the structure, I lengthen the entire lines, the superficial front line and the back line, which we'll describe also in another video here on the website. And I will work more globally to give you a whole new sense of being, even in the first session. Some people have found this life-changing, and it is because they get a new sense of the ground and then they widen their perception at the same time. And the perceptual field shifts on a more global level. They feel more relaxed, and the clinical issues, for example, people having lower back problems, oftentimes it's specifically connected because they're walking more on their heels, the weight is going to the back of the foot. I get the weight all over the bottom of the foot with the principle that there's eyes in the middle of the foot that really look to the center of the earth, and then widening the perception at the same time. So you have both the earth and the sky. So this is the homework that is also, I share with you, also work with breathing. So it's a very global, painless method of Rolfing, and I look forward to meeting you and discussing any of your issues, first, if you like, on the phone, and then we can, of course, arrange a time. I can come to your home or to your office or event. I also have a practice here on Maui and be happy to have you come there as well. So much aloha. Thank you. My name is Dean Vajra, and I'm a certified Rolfer and certified Rolf movement practitioner. I'm also a licensed massage therapist. I wanted to explain a little bit about the painless Rolfing that I do. I work very globally on the whole body in the first session. Generally in the Rolfing recipe, there's 10 sessions, and they're just working on the first upper girdle in the first session. In my first session, the way that I developed after working for years in top clinics in Europe, I want to create a new sense of the ground and a real radical shift in just the first session. And it's possible to do this painlessly, again, if you listen to the midline. So fortunately, years back in 2003, I studied with Tom Myers, and he's well known for his anatomy trains model. And he has, and one good story is more recently this year in 2019, he came to visit Maui and I was able to give him a session. And he gave me a big thumbs up. So and I worked on a lot of his students. So a lot of this method can be explained in these diagrams. So here we have this superficial front line that comes all of this whole train of muscles that come up all along through the front here, up along the calves, up to the thighs, dominus rectus, up to the sternum, the sternocleidomastoid. And you see what happens is that the structure gets pulled together. It's like a rubber band that's bringing you forward here. So when it's bringing you forward here, what we're going to do is we're going to make all of this structure much more longer. So it's about making, in the first session, the superficial front line much longer. Again, the back line is another thing we'll do in the first session. And you can see there's this whole train of muscles that run along here. And some people you see walking like this. And so really we're always sometimes a combination of both, this front line pull, the back line pull. And again, by lengthening this, the tensegrity of the whole system can then just relax and discover a new way. So the ground is very, very important too, and there's 24 bones in the bottom of the foot, and we're going to differentiate all the tissues on the bottom of the foot. So you get a new sense of the ground, because that foundation is really fundamental in allowing the transformation of your body in gravity, so that all these aches and pains and lower back issues, the joint pains, have a chance to not be triggered by just the gravitational force. So when you have that weight all over the ground, there's a big transformation. So both the earth, and also I give instructions on widening the perception at the same time. By that, there's a palinticity or lengthening of the whole structure, and one sees with more of the whole of the field. And so this is important for the integration of the body, and for one to really get the maximum results on the long-term basis for this structural work. So another concept that I like to share, or principle that I share, is a Taoist principle, and I've been fortunate to study with Bruce Francis more recently with energy arts, and then I've also had Qigong masters in Washington State that I studied with for a long time. But what the Taoists are doing is they are basically, in all their yogas, they're pulsing the energy. And so this incorporation of pulsing the energy, specifically the Taoists, they do the lower Tantien, the middle Tantien, and the upper Tantien. So they're pulsing the physical body in all of their movements that they're doing, and specifically on the joints. So the ankle and the wrist are pulsed simultaneously, the back of the knee and the elbow, and the shoulder and the hips. And so with all these different pulsations, plus on the inner cavities, the chi cavities internally are being pulsed. There's one inside the midriff here. There's another one inside from the armpits right in here. There's also another one here in the sternum. So this pulsation of the joints and through the cavities simultaneously create a relaxation through the fascia. And the Taoists talk a lot about fascia as well, which is very amazing. And so this is another thing that I like to share with this principle, something everyone can do. You can do it for your physical body, you can do it for your emotional body, your mental body, karmic body, psychic body, spiritual bodies. They would just pulse it, because the goal is to get more relaxation through the whole structure. Massage is to create also relaxation, but this is a very deep relaxation that you can take with you and integrate beyond just the session. So these are some of the principles that I talk about. Also, breath, we will work with the breath. I also studied the Mézières method in France, and the focus is on the exhalation. So we work on really understanding what those dynamics are. And if you're a yoga practitioner too, I have studied some different systems of yoga and taught yoga, and basically to incorporate the breath so that basically we can use the yogas for doing them properly and not to really hurt yourself. So anyway, I go through all these different things. I also study with the Burrell method, the peripheral nerves. So some people have neuropathy or different numbness. So the nerves like to be long, and they get kinked up like a hose. And so they're embedded in this fascia, which is like a liquid crystal, the actual composition. And then you can make the nerves much longer. So the visceral space is also important, all the internal organs. So fascia surrounds everything. And again, I would do a very global session. And in the first session, you're going to find a big, big shift. So there's a mind-body connection. When you have a better trust in the ground and your perception is wide, there's more stability in your life, because that's how we get the information from the bottom of the feet and through the widening of the perception, so then we can see with the whole of our being. So there are big psychological issues that possibly can fall away, because the one thing you can always trust is in the ground. So anyway, I look forward to meeting you and to talking with you more. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Much aloha. Thank you.